games happened on Saturday night, the 13th. We got 7 games. The first game is the Miami Heat beating the Jazz. That's not easy to do. At Jazz, I believe, as well. Jimmy Butler is still out. It's an ankle injury, so I think it's expected. He should be back next week. Meanwhile, with Jimmy Butler out, we could pick up guys like Duncan Robinson, although he's still mainly just a 3-point streamer. But he should get a usage bump. He should be playing some more minutes. And PJ Tucker, although he's very minimal, he played great. 3 for 3, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Bam should also have a usage boost, but this game was against the Jazz, against Rudy Gilbert, so an okay game from him. Bam has been struggling all season. We look at the last 2 weeks, he's the 38th ranked player, so not the worst. Sorry, for the full season, he's the 38th ranked player. In the last 2 weeks, he's the 48th. So just a little bit underwhelming. But if you're punting threes, he's still giving you great value. And his efficiency from the free throw line has been really good this season. I think that should go down a little bit. And just not a lot of blocks so far. That's the biggest problem. If you start blocking some shots, that would be great. Tyler Hero, in the meantime, I think he's got to be a sell high. I'm not too high on Tyler Hero. He really gave us the points. Yeah, he's the 100th ranked player in last 2 weeks. And for the whole season, he's just the 86th. To me, he's just a top 90 guy with a lot of points. Everything else is pretty much average. So if you could trade away some of your points for multiple categories, right? Like you might be able to get like a Marcus Smart, for example. Their rankings will be similar. So you trade away some points, sure, but you get a lot of steals back. You get a lot of assists. You get equal amount of threes as well. So that's it's because he's just that one category, just the points. Rebound is okay, but everything else is his efficiency is not great. He's not a great free throw shooter either. He's around 80%, but like not 85 plus. Kyle Lowry, great. I guess it's hard to buy low at this point. Maybe a sell high if you can get the top 30 guy, but nobody's gonna sell. Nobody's gonna buy Kyle Lowry because he just doesn't look sexy. His stats, 21 points, 2 3, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals is pretty good. For the Utah Jazz, Bogdanovic hit 6 threes, 26 points, 6 rebounds, but again, just everything else is pretty empty and bad efficiency. He is, if we look at the last 2 weeks, he's a 142nd ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Played 8 games as well. Average 17 points. This is where he's going to score 17, 18 points, give you 2.5 threes. That's not even, I don't know. It's not even guaranteed he give you 2.5 threes. And absolutely no defensive stats. In the past 2 weeks, he averaged 0.1 steal. That means he got 1 steal in 8 games. Royce O'Neal, in the meanwhile, as we talked about it many times, if you need some defensive stats and some rebounds, he's the guy to grab and stream. Rudy Gilbert played okay, 3 steals, no blocks, 14 points, 13 rebounds. Mainly a 3-category specialist and hurts you in many others. Overall, he's a top 30 player. Donovan Mitchell, wow. He didn't shoot the ball well, but the 5 steals is insane. Donovan Mitchell, in the last 2 weeks, he was the 8th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. 28 points, sure, but mainly the 2.3 threes. Sorry, 2.3 steals he's getting and 3.7 threes he's hitting, while only just shooting 79% from the free throw line. So what a difference. That's why it's hard for steals. It's very hard to plan it out because you have a guy like a Donovan Mitchell, like Ja Morant even. Those guys, they average around 1 steal, and this season, they average 1.7, 1.8, and they might continue doing that, because the defensive scheme changes, or maybe they just decided to hustle a little bit more. And you could have a guy that averaged 2 steals, like Paul George a couple years ago. When he got onto the Clippers, he just averaged 1.4, and then last year was only 1.1, and then this year jump up to 2. Could literally double their steal rate in 1 year, or reduce it by 40%. So in other kind of like points, rebound, assists, those kind of hard to have that high of a variance. But worth noting to point out, if Donovan Mitchell can consistently get 1.5, then he's a top 20 player. Mike Conley is a sell high this game. After this game, it will be hard. Minus 14. He was like a top 30, 40 player for the season. After this game, it will be hard. But if he ever goes off again, really, really try to sell him for any top 50 player. Jordan Clarkson played well, 32 minutes. He's up and down, but if you want points and threes, he could always be a streamer. Always be a streamer. Let's look at the next game. The Philadelphia Sixers losing. They're still without everybody. Joel Embiid. Andre Drummond, we gotta try to sell him. Danny Green, left the game with a hamstring issue. That's not good. Just to drop. Older guards with hamstring issues. If they come back and play well 1-2 games, you have to sell them immediately. That's older guards with hamstring issues. Like Harden last year, it's not good. Harden last year missed a bunch of games. Rested 2 weeks, came back, and then had another hamstring tightness issue. And then in the playoffs had another one, right? He was never himself. And even this season, he was, you could argue the free throw, but he's not aggressive. He's just not, after the hamstring issue, tightness, he took 6 months through, the whole offseason. He didn't really play basketball, so he's playing himself back to the shape. It could always linger. Because you got it once, if you don't take care of it, it could happen again. So, yeah, Danny Green, maybe this year is, it's going to be bad. We'll see. Tobias Harris played great, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 3. I mean, just Tobias Harris numbers. He should be a top 30, 40 guy pretty consistently. He's done it over the years. Andre Drummond, 16 rebounds. Yeah, we have to get rid of him. We have to sell him for any value. Find that team in your league that really needs rebounds or love rebounds. Try to make a trade. Because in 15 minutes, 16 minutes, once Joel Embiid comes back, and Joel Embiid is going to miss games as well, then maybe to that team it's worth holding. Because if he's not giving you anything else in those 60 minutes, he can still grab you 8 rebounds in those 60 minutes. Tyrese Maxi, again, huge sell high. If you can get top 50 value back, you can. Otherwise, just hold. He might be a top 80, 90 guy the rest of the season. But he's not that exciting in fantasy because he doesn't get that many defensive stats. He scores some points, but he's not a big assist guy either, or rebound. So a lot of his values right now are coming from his efficiency and the points. He doesn't take that many threes either, so it's, overall could be a 90 guy, once everybody comes back. If you can sell for any top 50 player, I don't think I would think too much. Seth Curry, just a 3-point point streamer, in my opinion. But if you want to hold him, that's also fine. Because the guy is getting 30+ minutes. Every once in a while, he should be getting 3 steals and 6-7 assists. Shake Milton, let's just drop him. Tyrese Maxi is favorite over him and just not enough minutes. Georges Niang, with Tobias Harris back, he still got 26 minutes, but he's just a streamer. For the Indiana Pacers, Chris Durocher is the drop. He played 26 minutes, and Caris LeVert only played 24. So the minutes is a bit weird, but even if he played 30 minutes, I don't think he's a must roster. He's kind of like just points and threes, and a little bit still like a worse version of Norman Powell, right? And Norman Powell is 60. I mean, he could be a 100 guy or 110th guy playing 30 minutes, but that's not even guaranteed that he'll get 30 minutes. So if you want to hold, just check the schedule. If they have 1 week have 3 games or 2 games, maybe you could drop in to stream that spot. You're guaranteed to get better value. Sabonis played great, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Good efficiency, but he's fallen off a little bit. It's another guy, if he's going off, I look to trade him. Miles Turner. Guess where Miles Turner ranking is in the last 2 weeks? He's actually the second ranked player, while Curry being the first. In the last 2 weeks, he averaged 17 points, 2.9 threes, 8.7 rebounds. 17 points, but that's not too crazy. He could average 13 points. 9 rebounds, that's not too crazy either. But like nothing he's doing is crazy other than the 4 blocks. That's a bit high, but he could average 3 blocks a game. So yeah, Miles Turner is just the type of player. If you got him on your team, your blocks, you're good with blocks. You just need a little bit more from all your other players. He will make you competitive in that category. You know, pretty much every week, unless you're playing some teams with like 10 shot blockers. So good. That's what makes him very interesting. You could look to trade him to get maybe 3 categories back, right? You trade a guy with no blocks, but a guy with huge scoring, huge threes, like a Zach LaVine. You know, you get a lot more points, you get a lot more threes, you got a lot more efficiency from the free throw line, and you know, but you lose out mainly just the blocks. You also lose out a little bit on rebounds, but mainly the blocks. Very interesting fantasy player in Miles Turner, and his value pretty much depend on the blocks. Caris LeVert came back, played just 25 minutes, had 3 turnovers. I mean, it's fine, especially if you are punting some of the efficiency categories. Malcolm Brogdon remains to be a huge sell high. Efficiency-wise, it was really bad, but had a triple-double. You know, to me, per game basis, top 40, sure. But toward the end of the season, he's going to get hurt. He's going to play fewer minutes. You know, all those sort of things. The reason why his ranking is high is because he gets a lot of assists, and his turnover is fine. You know, where is Brogdon in the last 2 weeks? Brogdon in the last 2 weeks is the 33rd ranked player. So that's, you know, he's gonna average 6-7 assists, and his turnover he's gonna average like close to 20, and he's only 2.3. Him and Fred VanVleet and Chris Paul, right? Those are the 3 guys. If you're trying to win both assists and turnovers, you can have those 3 guys. If you got a Russell Westbrook, you got a James Harden, they might have more assists, but a bunch of turnovers. TJ McConnell, wow, just a holiday went off, but we should just leave him on the waiver wire. TJ McConnell, in 22 minutes, he still had 9 assists and a steal. So I don't think he's a drop if you want those categories, or you stream him. But I guarantee if you drop him, somebody else in your league is going to pick him up. And you don't know when they're going to drop him. But just very borderline. Like his overall value is very, very borderline, you know, droppable. But the assists especially is just so hard to get on the waiver wire. Let's look at the next game. The Washington Wizards beating the Orlando Magic. This game, Bradley Beal struggling, missed the game because his grandma passed away, so it should just be a 1-game absence. Maybe buy low on Bradley Beal. Maybe he's angry and he wants to play better for his grandma. I don't know. He's been pretty underwhelming this season, but he should be fine. You know, I still look at him as a top 15 per game basis. Should be in that 15th range. KCP still on the block. Let's not touch him. Very minimal value. And Kyle Kuzma, I know his overall ranking is pretty bad, but let's look at his ranking the last 2 weeks. Is it still bad? Yeah, still bad. 112th ranked player. 0.3 steals. 0.8 blocks is fine. So just very little steals, very little assists, bad efficiency. But, you know, if you just look at the points, 15, 16 points is fine. He hit 3.2 threes, that's really good. 6.5 rebounds is a bit low. He could average 8, 9 rebounds. And blocks is okay, so you know, he's not for everybody, but if your team needs those categories, he's really giving you those value, you know. Daniel Gafford had 5 personal fouls in 26 minutes. He's not really blocking shots. I say in category leagues he's still a hold, because you're not going to find a guy that consistently get 1.7 to 2 blocks on the waiver wire. You just don't. So still a hold. Spencer Dinwiddie had a huge game, maybe a sell high, you know, this 1 game without Beal. But, you know, without Beal, you want to see him getting more assists. Somehow, Montrezl Harrell came in, played 20 minutes, had 7 assists and 6 rebounds. Yeah, Montrezl Harrell remains to be a sell high. Look at this his minutes, 21 minutes. Yeah. And that could be possible for the next 5 to 10 games, just average 20 to 25 minutes. It's hard to, he was playing really well, sure. Daniel Gafford was out for a few games, but now is the time to get rid of him. Any top 50 guy, do a 2-for-1s to get any 40, 30 value back is the move I'm trying to make for Montrezl Harrell. And look at the Orlando Magic. Fred Wagner, he had 6 steals the other night. The minutes is fine, 35 minutes, but he's just going to be that top 100 guy with good efficiency, hit some threes. It's fine to roster. Like a mini Norman Powell. I would identify those guys as just Norman Powell, but worse. It's okay to hold because he doesn't really hurt you anywhere. 2 for 11, this game is bad. Wendell Carter Jr. had a pretty good game. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr. has been playing really well all season. 75th ranked player, but he hit 4 threes this game, 3 steals and 7 rebounds. He grabbing a lot of rebounds, and Mo Bamba grabbed a lot of his rebounds this game. Mo Bamba took 7 in just 26 minutes. Mo Bamba took 17 shots. We know why though, because they're just leaving him wide open. He got off 9 threes. So that's a strategy that, hey, like if you're not hitting 3 at a good enough clip, maybe don't take that many threes. 17 rebound is nice, a steal and 3 blocks. At this point, I think even when Jonathan Isaac comes back, I feel good about Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. I feel good about both of them. There'll be some nights who play 25, but they should still be solid. This is just me. They will get impacted a little bit, but again, Jonathan Isaac, he's a guy coming back from the knee injury. He's gonna first of all miss a lot of games, and I don't expect him to play 30 minutes anyways. So maybe 20 to 25 took maybe at best 5 to 10 minutes from Wendell Carter Jr. to Mo Bamba each night. Best case scenario for Jonathan Isaac. Cole Anthony, 4 for 16, 22 points. He's cooling off a little bit. Markelle Fultz is going to be back. So I really think Jalen Suggs, we don't want to hold him no more. Markelle Fultz is going to be back. It's possible he pops off starting next week, or maybe he does it 3 months later, or maybe he doesn't do it at all. So why not just stream him? Guarantee that you're getting value from that spot, every week. And just keep an eye on him. If he start playing well, getting more minutes, then we can pick him up, no worries. But if I had to bet my money, Markelle Fultz is going to be back, and he's only playing 25 minutes a night anyways. Terrence Ross got 31 minutes, but let's not worry about him. But, the entire Magic team played pretty bad this game. Let's look at the next game, the Grizzlies. Oh boy, they lost to, that's a bad loss. They lost to the Pelicans. This is their second win. Dillon Brooks, 30 minutes. Oh boy, that's interesting. So Dillon Brooks come back, play 30 minutes. That's about the minutes you would expect him to play. If he's out there on the waiver wire, we gotta pick him up. Decent points, threes and steals. But who suffered this game? DeAnthony Melton did. I think it's a drop, DeAnthony Melton. I think we all know it's coming. There will be games that DeAnthony Melton will be getting 25 minutes, but some nights will just be 15 to 20. Because Dillon Brooks is the starter, he's gonna get 30 plus minutes. Taking 30 minutes away from somebody. And this game, DeAnthony Melton suffered, and Desmond Bane, I think, is a sell high as well. If you can get any top 60, 70 value, which Desmond Bane has been all, well, I take that back. On the season, Desmond Bane is already outside of, he's 118th ranked player, so nobody's really going to take him. You could still roster him for Desmond Bane because really just another Norman Powell. He hit some threes, some points, but not a lot of defensive stats. Not a lot of rebound or assist. So he's fine to hold, but I don't think he's a must roster. Now that Dillon Brooks is back, and Dillon Brooks is going to take some of the usage away. He took 18 shots here. Who knows? He might take some of the John Morant's Ja Morant should still be fine. Almost a triple-double. Had 1 steal. And Jaren Jackson Jr. remains to be a buy low. He played 22 minutes, had 3 personal fouls. He's just horrible. Minus 20. Maybe he doesn't turn it around, but because he gets a bunch of blocks, he has such a good upside. I would still spend a top. Realistically, he's a top 50 guy. I look at him. So any top 70, 80 guy, do a 2-for-1. He has the upside to be a top 30 guy. If he can just average 17 points, 17, 18 points, 2.5 threes, and close to 2 blocks, that's top 30. And assuming his efficiency is okay, that's top 30 value right there. The 2 blocks. For the New Orleans Pelicans, Brandon Ingram is back, so that's good. He was out for a long time. And again, Brandon Ingram, he give you good points, decent points, rebound, and assists, but everything else is he just doesn't get it. At this point, we just don't expect him to get defensive stats. For the season, he's a 92nd, maybe a buy low 92nd ranked player, already averaging 24 points. That's where you would expect 2.3 threes. But main thing is 0.3 steals. Maybe he could be a 0.6, 0.7 steals, but he just doesn't try to get steals. And he's taking 21.4 field goals, just inefficient scorer. Not good. Not having a good season so far. Well, the whole Pelicans team, other than Valanciunas played great, and they got the win. 34 minutes, 6 for 7, 15 points, 9 rebounds, a steal and 2 blocks, 3 assists. Top 30 guy rest of the season. Josh Hart had 11 assists somehow. Brandon Ingram is back this game. He still got 32 minutes. So we could think about maybe we could just keep holding on to him. He's still a great rebounder, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 21 points, 2 steals. Okay game from him. The defensive stats are nice. And Devontae Graham, 15 points here. He's a hold. In category leagues at least. And Herbert Jones had 1 block. Still got his 30 minutes. You could stream him for defensive stats. He gets a bunch of defensive stats. And that's about it. Let's go to the next game. Detroit Pistons beat the Raptors. That's no good for the Raptors, losing to Detroit. And Saddiq Bey, hey, he was horrible. Everybody on Detroit played horrible in this week, and everybody played well this game. Saddiq Bey, 3 threes, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. Let's look at his ranking in the last 2 weeks. 159th. Yep. Is he a must roster? He could be your worst player on the roster. I think I'm okay with that. Jeremy Grant played well. 24 points, a block, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 threes. Jeremy Grant is a guy that I could see his value. He could 1 week he could be a top 10 player, and then another week he could be 200. Super inconsistent with his efficiency, and because he could get 3 blocks and 3 steals 1 game and then 0-0 the next. So his values could fluctuate a lot. And if he's playing well, I would look to sell. If he's playing bad, really bad, I look to buy. Some opportunities there. And Isaiah Stewart finally he played over 30 minutes. 120th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. But this is his best game so far this season. 20 points, 9 for 11. That's huge. 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. Raptors interior defense just, because they go small, right? Isaiah Stewart gets to eat. Kate Cunningham, not the best game. But yeah, he's still a hold. I think they mainly want to develop him, right? So I think you want to hold him for those upside. Killian Hayes is great. I think we could look to roster him, especially if you need the assists and steals. He had 10 assists here. But I don't think he's gonna do this every game. Obviously, all the Detroit Pistons guys, fantasy wise, I don't think Jeremy Grant is the best player, best fantasy player. But everybody else, they could just end up outside of top 70, 80. Kate Cunningham, he might have some good counting stats, but overall with his efficiency, maybe just 80, 90, 100. Isaiah Stewart has top 50 upside so far. He's just not getting It's not like he's not getting the minutes. He just committed too many fouls to stay on the court. For the Raptors, a bad game from all. Scotty Barnes 4 for 10. He was averaging 17, 18 points. I don't think with Siakam coming back, I don't think he could average that. But he could start doing some of the other areas, like the 4 assists and the steal. So overall, not bad. You know, he's a guy that can contribute across the board, other than threes, because he doesn't shoot threes. OG, a very average game from OG. 61st ranked player in the last 2 weeks, averaging 21 points. But you know, the 1.1 steals and 0.6 blocks is too low for OG. He's got to average 1.5, but I understand, you know, just 2 week span. Next week he could average 3 steals. But if you own OG, you really want to see him getting those defensive stats. Like 21 points is nice, you know, but come on, OG, give us more defensive stats. For Siakam, 25 points. This is great for Siakam. 5 for 9 from the free throw line is bad. He's a top 50 player. He's gonna miss some games here and there, but he should give you 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. And yeah, maybe a steal and a block with okay efficiency. That's top 50 right there. Gary Trent Jr. continues to get, man, Gary Trent Jr. is too good. He got 3 steals again this game. It's at this point, I'm convinced this is gonna be a thing moving forward. He's just gonna average 1.7, 1.8, who knows, 1.5 steals. You know, 17th ranked player actually in the last 2 weeks, averaging 2.6 steals. That's it. I mean, everything else looks okay. Like 18 points might be a little high, but he could average 18. You know, 16, 18. It's not too big of a difference. 2.7 threes. The only thing is the 2.6 steals. Literally tripled his steal. When he was on the Portland, maybe it's just a team defensive scheme. You know, on Portland he was averaging 0.7, 0.8. Now here is at, you know, last 2 weeks we had 2.6. But 2.6 is not realistic, so that's got to go down. Goran Dragic actually started. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Fred VanVleet. You know, has a groin injury. You know, he's still very young, so that's a good thing. At least it's not hamstring, but he's getting 40 minutes a night. So at some point he's gonna run out of gas, even though he's young. Last season he never ran out of gas. Like he kept it going all season. But at some point, you know, if you play him this high minutes every single game, man, he plays hard on the court. He's a little guy. He has to play hard and hustles. So we'll see. We'll see. If I own Fred VanVleet, I can get rid of him for like another top 20 second round player like I would. Goran Dragic, we could continue to stream him if Fred VanVleet continues to be out. But all the big men, you know, it's drop city. Chris Boucher, Cam Birch, and Achua. He was out. So all the Toronto big men, we need to say bye-bye. Not getting the minutes. Let's look at the next game, the Boston Celtics. This game, bad loss for the Celtics. Without Jaylen Brown, but at least they kept it close. Jason Tatum, what's going on? If your team is pounding field goal, I would still use a second round player. You know, try to use a second round, end of second or early third round player to trade for him. But if you're not punting field goal, I don't know where Jason Tatum is. He's just been really bad, and it's not a small sample size. He's just been really bad. There's no way around it. Just really, really bad. In the last 2 weeks, he is he's ranked next to KCP. 134th ranked player, averaging 21 points. You know, shooting 37% from the field and 70% from the free throw line. I don't know what's up with Jason Tatum. He did get COVID last year. He said, you know, it impacted him, but a lot of people got COVID. I don't know. I can't think of an excuse for Jason Tatum to be this bad. Still a buy low if you're pounding field goal, in my opinion. Robert Williams played great. I think when Horford misses games, Robert Williams plays super well. 16 rebounds. Horford is taking some of the rebounds away from him. 16 rebounds is real nice. A steal and 3 blocks. To me, per game basis, he could be a top 20 player. 57th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Just a 1.1 block. Him and Miles Turner should be like the top 5, and Rudy Gilbert. Those 3 guys are the top 3, top 5 shot blockers in the NBA. So just the blocks alone is already huge. And if you can add in 10 rebounds and good field goal and some steals, top 20, I don't think it's too crazy. Marcus Smart, 0 for 5. But if I got Marcus Smart, I don't care. Because he gave me 8 assists and 5 steals. That's really good stuff from Marcus Smart. Dennis Schroeder went off again. Yeah, we got to try to sell high on him. In the last 2 weeks, without Jaylen Brown, he went off last game. This game, he's still just a 107th ranked player. Like, the points is really, really nice, and we know that it's hard to find points on the waiver wire. But this is how you should look at it, right? Like, sure, you could, let's say he averaged 20 points, you could pick him up on the waiver wire, 20 points. But then, like, a lot of if you just compare the 20 points to the guys you drafted, like top 30 guys, everybody's averaging over 20 points, right? So the impact there is good, but not huge. But then if you look at steals and blocks, you could, let's say you pick up a guy, like there are many guys that average 1.5 steals. That's first round guys, sure. There might be Jimmy Butler average 2, but 1.5 is very close to 2, right? So points is nice, but if your top players are not scoring enough points, even if you pick up of a guy like Dennis Schroeder of the at the end of your bench, giving you 17, 18, it doesn't really help your team that much. Versus steals and blocks, they could really make a huge impact. So that's why it's important to draft early rounds. It's important to draft guys with huge points, assists, and rebounds. Maybe threes, because if you draft like Rudy Gobert with 0 threes, it's kind of hard to because your threes. If somebody draft Curry, right? It's really hard to make up that difference. But yeah, the points is nice regardless, but he's not doing the other stuff so far this week. 0.7 steals, efficiency is also good. Again, like if I can get any top 60 or like, I would trade Dennis Schroeder for Marcus Smart. But yeah, I think again it depends on your team build. If you really need some points, Dennis Schroeder will be great. But that's about it. This is the only value. He doesn't offer that many assists either. Let's look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, oh boy, Evan Mobley is gonna be a top 30. I think in the last 2 weeks, he's the 39th ranked player. The main thing with him is he doesn't shoot that many threes, but everything else is great. Maybe the assist is also a bit low. But last 2 weeks, he's a 39th ranked player. Like, I think I look at all the stats, I think it's sustainable, right? The 17.7 points, yes. 0.9 threes, sure. 8.3 rebound, who knows? That could go up to 9. Jared Allen is taking a lot of the rebounds away. 2 assists, sure. 1 steal, sure. 1.6 blocks, that could go up as well. 55% from the field, that's realistic, and 76% from the free throw line. That's also realistic. So he very comfortably could be a top 50 player, in my opinion. As long as he stays healthy and he doesn't commit stupid fouls. He's clearly the best player on this team. He was a plus 16 just one game. But this game, he's clearly the best player. He was a plus 16 while all the other starters was minus 13, 14, and they won the game by 2. So I think Evan Mobley, very high on him. He should probably be the rookie of the year. Scottie Barnes was playing well, but he's playing on the Raptors team. There are a lot of good coaching staff, good system, that all kind of stuff. Evan Mobley is doing it on the Cavs team. So good stuff from Evan Mobley. If I try to sell high on him, I try to sell him as a top 30 player. Not just another top 50, because he's going to be top 50. His floor is probably top 60, 70. He has some really bad percentages. If he can average 2 blocks, who knows, could be even higher. Dean Wade, yeah, let's not talk about him. Jared Allen, 5 for 5, 8 rebounds. Also another guy that been playing really well. You could sell high on him if you can. And Colin Sexton is going to be out for a long time. So Darius Garland and Ricky Rubio, they're going to run the show. Darius Garland played well, 22 points, 2 threes, 6 assists, and a steal. If you don't care about the efficiency, if you don't care about the field goal and turnovers, he's a top 50 guy very comfortably. But again, with those two things, he's ranking, he might be just a top 80 because he's been turning the ball over way too much. But he should improve. Ricky Rubio, 4 for 17. He took 17 shots. That's wild. But he's a must roster. I think we all know that. And let's go to the last game of the night. Just got blown out, the Timberwolves, by the Clippers. Clippers are playing super well this year. And Paul George should be in the MVP conversation. Anthony Edwards, not the best game. Still had, forced his way to 21 points. Vanderbilt started, had 14 minutes. And Jaden McDaniel got 32 minutes. And Nasri got 14. So it's literally lottery every game. You don't know what the rotation, who's going to get how many minutes. It just depends on the coach's mood. Right? Today I'm going to start Vanderbilt, but I'm going to give him 40 minutes. But Jaden McDaniels, I'm going to give him 32. So I don't think any one of those guys is a... I don't even feel good about streaming them because if you stream them, one guy might just get 15 points. Unless you stream both of them. That's guaranteed they get 48 minutes together. So, yeah. They have a back-to-back. Maybe you can make an argument. Karl Anthony Towns did not have the best game either. Only took 11 shots, while Anthony Edwards took 22 and D'Lo took 16. I think when D'Lo is playing, Karl Anthony Towns just doesn't play that well. I don't know. I picked up a little bit. Maybe very small sample size in the last 2 weeks. I mean, Cat's still the 12th ranked player. Averaging 20 points, 10.7 rebounds, 2 steals is high. But last week he really struggled with 45% shooting and 75% from the free throw line. He's a top 5 guy. So let's not worry too much. Patrick Beverley, we could stream him and roster him if you're punting points. D'Lo, again, bad efficiency. The 8 assists is nice. D'Lo is a guy that I'm looking to trade if I'm punting, if I'm not punting field goal, free throw, and turnovers. He's bad in those 3 categories. Let's look at the LA Clippers. Yeah, Paul George steals is for real. It's back, I think. Should be a 1.7, 1.8 steals guy rest of the season, I believe. Maybe last year he just wasn't fully healthy. Just not going aggressive for those steals. He's 25th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. And 25.6 points. Yes, he could average 25 points this season. 8 rebounds. None of it is too crazy. He should be a top 10 guy. He should be a top 10 guy. Zubac, double-double in 22 minutes. I don't think Zubac is the must roster. He's too inconsistent. His minutes is inconsistent. But you could stream him for some rebounds and efficiency. That's about it. Eric Bledsoe, 25 minutes. That's why I think Eric Bledsoe is a hold because his defensive stat upside is there. Just 25 minutes, he had 9 assists as well this game. Maybe a sell high. If you can get do a 2-for-1 to get a top 50 guy back, I think that's, again, another guy that's super inconsistent. But because he's upside with the defensive stats upside, I think I want to hold him. Reggie Jackson, 27 minutes. Yeah, just not too crazy. Terrence Mann played 30 minutes, played pretty well, 2 3, 16 rebound, but just a streamer. Nicholas Batum, just the 18 minutes. It was a blowout, so he's still a hold. He was playing super well the last 2 weeks. If you want to do a 2-for-1, I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna bite on Batum. And once Morris comes back, Batum's minutes is gonna take a hit as well. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.